welcome everyone to the painting stream that we do on a Wednesday. Myself and Cornish will be painting for your viewing pleasure, hopefully. What are you going to be painting today, Cornish? You're going to be continuing?
I am continuing with the Rogal Dorn, yes.
The Tonk.
The Tonk. In bolded italics.
Indeed. Tonk.
I'm going to try a little bit of an experiment on the headlights today.
Nice.
To see if I can get them. So you know how like you'll see like searchlights in like cartoons and they're that kind of like dirty yellow?
Yeah.
I kind of want to see if I can get that for the headlights.
Nice. Are you going to do like an anime eye sort of highlight thing as well?
Probably not.
Okay.
But mainly sort of mixing I think red, yellow wash, yellow and orange wash, and then yellow and brown wash, and see what we get.
Nice. It'll be nice to see how that works. I'm going to be painting the third one of these two. I got these two finished last time. You can't see that very well because my camera is on auto mode and does not recognize Tau as humans, which is just rude, in my opinion.
Yeah,
there
but
you go.
not.
There's the two of them. Those were completed last week. I got the green eyes and everything. This week I'm going to be starting off by finishing the third one off the troop. He's still got his null noil all over him. We're tidying him up, finishing off these two, and that's going to be the first half of the stream. And the second half for me will be beginning this gentleman, who I have primed. I went out and sprayed him this morning.
Ah,
so there you go.
So you are going with Farsight then?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Farsight because I've got the paint, I've got the towel colours out, so I might as well. Makes it easier.
Are you gonna? I was gonna say, are you gonna paint him your army colours, or are you gonna paint him like the box?
My army colours. That's a different card tray. You know that ain't me. That's red. That's red mode. I think I'm going to give him a lot more different colours though. As in, this is like almost I'd say it's 80-90% brown. I'm going to make I'm going to make him sort of a half and half, I reckon, and other stuff. Maybe we'll see how it shakes out. We'll see how it shakes out.
Okay.
Anyway, let's crack on.
Yes.
Once we do that,
Right, what am I doing? I need that actually. There we go.
I've got hay fever today, so if you hear me sniffling, apologies. Not a lot I can do about that, unfortunately.
It's that time of the year. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Let's have a look. Where am I? Ah, there we go. I'm going to head on into the world of Eurogamer and see if there's anything worth discussing whilst we start.
Well, we have at least one discussion topic, which is the Fallout series.
Well, yeah.
Or do you want to break into that slowly rather than get into the rage bait immediately?
I mean, I'm happy to discuss it if you're in the mood for me being very apologetically anti-Bethesda. But yeah, I'd say
so like, let's get out of the way because I feel like that was going to be this is sort of going to be hanging over our heads otherwise. So I do want to add the disclaimer that my only sort of experience with the Fallout franchise has been through Bethesda.
Oh no, I feel deeply sorry for you.
I have tried to go back and play the originals, and I really, really struggled.
I suppose if
quite badly.
If you never played any of those sort of isometric top-down RPGs before, and although you played Baldur's Gate, Dark Alliance. That was a similar deal, wasn't it?
Yeah, but the thing is, with that's not Baldur's Gate. Dark Alliance 1 and 2 are not turn-based; they're hack and slash.
Right. Okay.
They are very sort of like power gaming, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I haven't. So yes, I've played those games, but they are not like turn-based tacticals. I did play. You could kind of argue that Neverwinter Nights was that.
Yeah.
To a degree. But yeah, it's a weird one.
Yeah.
Basically.
But yeah.
But I never grew up with Fallout, the isometric turn-based RPG. I only ever grew up with Fallout.
The first-person shooter, not RPG.
Yes. Well, I'd argue that Fallout 3 is more of an RPG than Fallout 4.
Yeah, they're just Fallout 3 is let down by its very stupid plot holes and very silly story.
I don't mind the story. I don't like how it ends.
Well, yeah, I mean, you have a super mutant with you. With it. The super mutant could easily do the thing, and no one has to die.
Oh, with Fallout 3?
Yeah. So the super mutant can literally go in there and do the thing, and you don't have to do anything to kill yourself. Also, I don't. The main problem I've got with Fallout 3 is the whole story is about your dad.
Or finding your dad.
Yeah, exactly. And everywhere you go, you hear about cool shit that your dad did. And you're just like standing there like, oh, cool. Am I going to get to do any of that cool shit? Oh, no, you're just going to do fucking busy work. And then like whine that you can't find your dad. I don't know. I
mean, like, to be fair, like, essentially you are playing like a 19-year-old.
Yeah, but
in Fallout 3.
I don't know.
If you count the number of years between the time jumps, it works out that your character is essentially like 19 years old and grew up in a vault.
However,
which is obviously very different to being in the wasteland.
Yeah. Fallout 3 also has a starting so bad they had to patch it out. Well, modders patched it out.
Fallout 3?
Yeah.
Oh, the whole child thing.
Yeah, I don't want to fucking sit there for an hour whilst I get told that, you know, I'm a good boy, and I don't want to have people come to my birthday party and then be forced to fucking murder them because the game gives you no opportunity to like talk your way out of it. Like, it's just ridiculous. First, the very beginning of Fallout 2 basically says, here's a trial. To get to the trial, you have to kill one of your friends, but you can you can literally just say, no, I don't want to fight you, and he was like, well, I've been told I have to, and then you can like do some skill checks to like talk your way out of it and say, yeah, why that's a fight, and you can have like a philosophical discussion about the benefits of following orders, and it's just very interesting and it's very fun. And it means that you know that there's many ways you can tackle, you know, objectives, and that's sort of what's lacking in the Bethesda the Bethesda Fallouts. The game has a very specific way it wants you to do shit, and if you don't do it the way it wants you to do it, you struggle, or it's not very interesting.
Yeah,
because they don't have.
But also at the same time, you also got to like. As much as we say, for example, I'm sure you would absolutely love Fallout 3 and 4 if they kept the isometric sort of turn-based shenanigans, wouldn't you?
I don't think so.
Okay, and they, you know, wrote a better story for at least 4.
I was going to say the things that are wrong with Fallout 3 and 4 are not the core mechanics. I don't mind it being first person. I don't mind it like resembling a first person shooter. I want some RPG in my RPG, please. I want to be able to make a character that is completely distinct from another character that someone else has made.
Yeah.
I don't want to have that exact same experience as someone else. You know, I want my decisions to mean things. They completely did away with perks, I think, or they might not have did away with them, but they completely ruined them by rendering them basically as just slight stat increases, and there was no like cost benefit, cost benefit analysis to be done. Like when you picked a perk in like Fallout 1 and 2 and in New Vegas, because they fixed perks and stuff in New Vegas, which was nice. There was always a negative that came with with a particularly good positive. There was always something that you had to give up.
I mean, to be like, it's worth mentioning that Vegas was developed by a different studio.
Exactly,
it wasn't developed by Bethesda.
Yeah, that's why I say that all of the Bethesda ones I'm not particularly fond of. Never really had found myself having a particularly great time in Fallout 3 and 4. I never played 76 because I'd given up on it. Plus, I don't know. Fallout for me is a single player RPG. With it's got to be story rich. It's got to be dripping with atmosphere, as they say. It's got to be a nice place to explore. Which I would say that the wasteland in Fallout 3 was quite a nice place to explore. But if you were interested in having a fun story told, you were out of luck.
Fallout 3 was nice to explore as long as you were very cool about everything being some shade of brown very quickly.
Yeah, and also the other problem with 3, I think, is the fact that it's very easy. For the entirety of the game, there's no, because they sort of wanted you to be able to go anywhere you wanted at any time. The game had to level itself with you. There was no areas that were too hard to go to at the very start, which means that there's no area that ever gets difficult. So that's I don't know about that one, to be honest, because I feel like there are some areas that are higher difficulty regardless of what level you're at, personally. I don't know.
At least that's how it feels to me.
Yeah, but because they're trying to basically set a challenge level for an area, I think that the enemies are leveled based on what you are currently leveling at. Whereas in New Vegas, if you go the wrong way, you very quickly find bloatflies that will destroy your face. They're not bloatflies. They're fucking
Cazadors.
Murder bees. Yeah, the Cazadors are. That was such a very well done sort of fake out on the first area at New Vegas. You go up to the graveyard where you got buried, and there's some bloatflies just kicking about. You go the wrong way off that hill. You see in the distance there's just things bobbing about. Oh, it must be more of these bloatflies. I'll go and shoot them. By the time you realise they're not blowflies, it is too late. You are already dead. You never make that mistake again.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
I'll tell you one thing I'm really glad that, I don't know if this is true of the earlier Fallout games, but certainly with Fallout 3, Vegas, and 4,
yeah,
is I am really sort of glad that for like a lot of times the enemy won't follow you through doors. Because the amount of times I had to duck into somewhere in order to get some stim packs going was incredible.
Yeah, it depends where you are in Fallout 1 and 2. They won't follow you into a new area, but they will go through doors for you.
Well, yeah, so I mean, like, when you come to a door, it's like, X or whatever to open this place.
Yeah.
Rather than just open door.
Yeah.
I mean, like open into a new loading area. It's very rare for an enemy to follow you through.
Yeah.
Unless it's like story based, I guess.
I think that's called cheesing the game.
It is, but what I did learn is no matter how long what I did learn is no matter how long you wait or how much time you spend in that room, like in game time,
Yeah.
If the enemy was in the process of throwing a grenade, you walk out that door, they're still throwing the grenade.
Oh dear.
Yeah, that was a fun experience.
Yeah. Yeah, I have many complaints about the way that Bethesda have taken over another like significant one is they ruined super mutants. You know, super mutants were interesting. They had a really tragic backstory. You could speak to them and sort of, yeah. They were they were basically the key of the key story element in the first game. Their creation was like basically one of the main plot points in the first game, and you find out how they get made, what they get made for, and yeah, it turns out Bethesda just ignored all of that source material, and in Fallout 3 they were just mindless murder machines. You're like, oh, okay. So they're bored with this then, are they? They can't be asked telling an interesting story for these guys.
It wasn't quite that. Like, it has been said that, like, and this is also within like in-game interactions, particularly in Fallout 4. The super mutants in Fallout 3 are, while they are recognisably super mutants, they're also quite different from the ones on the West Coast. Because
sounds like papering over a plot hole.
well, so I think it's Vault 87. I think is the vault that's making, or where where they were doing FEV experiments.
Mm-hmm.
And the scientists before obviously all went apart and the vault was destroyed, or overrun rather. Was that they were sort of purposely being engineered to be more aggressive.
Okay.
Like a lot more aggressive. That's why they're so, big, dumb, and ugly in Fallout 3.
Yeah, sounds like excuses to me. Retconning it because they realised they had been lazy in the first game that they developed.
I mean,
I also really don't like the depiction of the Brotherhood of Steel in I think 3 was okay, but 4, fuck me, that's bad.
Well, the thing with 3 is that basically it was an expedition, because the majority of the Brotherhood's on the West Coast, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Or was, rather, before the NCR and the Brotherhood got, and before the NCR boss war. But I also think that it kind of makes sense. Did you play the Pit DLC for Fallout 3?
I was not. Yeah, no, I didn't bother buying it.
So, the Pit is basically the city of Pittsburgh. Okay. You go to the city of Pittsburgh. They've got like their own versions of mutants, not necessarily ghouls, but they're called like trogs, I think they are.
Okay.
Because there's something going on in the city that basically turns people into trogs. As in troglodytes.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. And the leader of the faction that you are initially introduced to is a former Brotherhood of Steel paladin. Because the Brotherhood sent an expedition to Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
I think either he was left behind or he was the only survivor. I don't quite remember. But he ends up being like this, like, war boss, effectively.
Okay.
And the DC Brotherhood is different as well, because that, again, originally came from the West. Came from the West. It was an expedition set up because apparently in the year of our Lord 27 or 22, whatever, long-range communications are still a big fucking mystery in the capital wasteland, even though there are plenty of radar sites that would allow you to do it.
Well, I mean, I think the Brotherhood are mainly to blame for that. they've been hoarding technology for years, decades, and not letting anyone have their hands on it to study it.
Well, they study it, I think.
They did. Yeah, the Brotherhood study it, but not letting anyone else have a look at it.
It's silly.
Yeah, but I think that the Brotherhood's core mission basically changes from game to game with Bethesda, and I think in 3 they were the closest to what they were in Fallout 1 and 2, but Fallout 1's Brotherhood of Steel was just so good. Like, half of the voiced characters are in the Brotherhood Enclave. Well, I shouldn't really call it an enclave, because the enclave is a whole other thing. Yeah, the Brotherhood compound, and it's so oh man, it's just really nice to just chat with them and sort of understand them and get to know them and get them to trust you, so that they can then give you stuff. You end up getting a suit of power armor from them, and it's just ridiculously good.
Well, it was sort of meant to sort of be the very best thing, wasn't it? Like, power armor was deployed because in the Great War, or at least on the Alaskan front, because they needed an edge over the the Chinese vehicles.
Yeah.
And they developed power armor as a result. But at the same time, China was also developing stealth suits and the like.
Yeah.
Which is pretty fun.
Yeah. I don't know, my main issue with the Bethesda Fallouts is they're a bit lazy.
Yeah, they can be lazy in places, but I feel I think they sort of suffer the same problem as Skyrim.
Yeah.
To a degree, which is, I feel like they're becoming more and more expansive, but the actual depth to them isn't actually all that great.
Yeah. Wide as an ocean, deep as a puddle.
Yeah.
And
so you know that phrase.
Yeah. And that's a complaint that Bethesda have fielded many times, but that there are games that show how lazy they are. There's games with much more expansive worlds, which are so much more intricately detailed from much smaller, companies that will absolutely, and that this is why Bethesda came out so heavily against comments made by journalists about Baldur's Gate 3. They came out saying, this isn't, but just so you know, this isn't the future. This is it's not the future of gaming. This is that
wasn't Bethesda that made those comments. That wasn't Bethesda.
Bethesda was one of them that made a bunch of similar comments. It was Bethesda, EA, Activision. Who else did? I can't remember. Yeah,
I think it was like EA, Ubisoft, and
Ubisoft,
EA, Activision Blizzard.
Yeah,
the big boys, because apparently they can't be rocked by anything.
Yeah, Bethesda.
Like, this is not the future of gaming. It's like, yes, it is actually very much.
Yeah, Bethesda basically also did that. They also made some comments, made some very ill-advised social media. But yeah, I just they keep saying that our game's so big, it's going to be so immersive, and it never is. I don't think Bethesda's made an immersive game since Morrowind. Oblivion was good, but it was a bit too jank. There was a bit too much going wrong in there. It was very funny when it happened, but it did take you out of the experience. I think that Morrowind was the last truly immersive thing that Bethesda made on its own.
I tried playing Morrowind, and then it explained exactly nothing to me, and then I kept getting caught by the guards.
Well, that's the thing about immersive experiences. They don't explain things to you unless you go looking.
I mean, yeah, but like also at the same time, like it just didn't ingratiate itself in my eyes by doing that.
All right. I mean,
I don't want to be handheld, but like,
okay,
even basic stuff like Oblivion did it quite well, which was here's like a little screenshot or two, or a little like journal page, effectively.
Yeah.
Telling you how X, Y, and Z work. And I was like, I like that. That's good. Skyrim, it was, yeah. Skyrim was essentially baby's. A lot of Skyrim felt like baby's first RPG.
Yeah. It was a bit too oversimplified. And again,
yeah.
Skyrim's story was pretty shit. It was fairly lackluster. I don't know. Having to sit there and listen to like half an hour's worth of dialogue about like you're basically having to sit for a fucking HOA meeting between all the various clans, like towards the end of the game. You're just like, that,
hey?
Have you not gotten that far in Skyrim?
Are you talking about the Civil War quest line, where you get them to have a truce for a little bit while you deal with Alduin?
Yes, where you sat there in High Hrothgar while they're just having a fucking bitching contest for half an hour, and you're just like, oh my god, this is the most boring shit. There is a difference between being immersed and being bored off your fucking mind.
Well, the thing is, the thing is, you can just go off and do the Civil War bit, and then come back and do the main quest line. So you have to do that.
Yeah, but the main quest line is also shit.
Yeah, it could have been better in places.
No.
To me, the main story sort of felt a bit like Death Race, the one with Jason Statham.
Okay. I don't think I've seen that.
I have seen it, like, I've watched it 3 times since it came out.
Is it that good?
It came out a long time ago, dude.
Oh, okay. I mean, I generally don't see films more than once unless I really like them. All the Christmas films, which I'll run every year. I'm forced to sit through.
I got a fucking ad for something to do with Christmas a few weeks ago, and I'm like, it's fucking March.
Only 30-something weeks to go.
Yeah, shut the fuck up. 2008 it came out.
Okay.
The premise of it is that the economy, the US economy, is taking a downturn, and one of the biggest money spinners is private prisons, using prisoners in like death or glory, sort of very violent, very fast-paced, very high octane.
Oh, so it's set in
competitive races. Yeah. I don't remember exactly when it's set, but yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
At the time, it was near future. And
don't give them ideas. Jesus Christ.
Oh, they fucking could if they would. They already use prisoners as slave labor, so you know. So Jason Statham's character is, I think he's a metal worker, or something like that.
Yeah.
But he was a former race driver, like a former professional race driver, like Jason Statham was before he became an actor.
Nice.
And he gets, like, somebody murders his wife, and someone murders his wife, and he's framed for it as a part of this big whole corrupt scheme.
Yeah.
Because one of the there are 2 fan favorites in the death race. In the death race.
Yeah.
In this prison, one of them is a guy called Frankenstein, because he's been injured in like practically every single way possible, to the point where he wears a mask because he's now so disfigured from racing in these races.
Literally sewn together.
Yeah, hence Frankenstein.
Yeah.
And then there's another dude who I forget the name of. And nobody knows this, but Frankenstein actually died in his last race. Because if you win 15 races, I think it is, you're freed, no matter how serious your crime is.
So someone's wearing his face as their face.
Well, Jason Statham ends up running around wearing the Frankenstein mask, and he sounds vaguely similar to him, so it was easy to get away with. But he was framed in order to get him into prison.
Okay.
Turns out it was another competitor in the death races.
That's convenient.
Yeah. So he goes through the whole, doing his first race, sort of learning how things work, and eventually he escapes prison.
I've been painting the wrong model. This entire time.
Well done.
Oh man. I was like, why can't I tell where I have and haven't painted yet? Oh my god.
Oh, dude. What you doing? But yeah, so this is basically the basis for most of the film. Is him trying to find a way to get out, to escape the prison, and stuff like that. They eventually do it. And I think he ends up in Mexico with the dude who helped him escape.
Okay.
Who was actually Frankenstein's biggest rival, which is quite entertaining.
Okay.
But the other thing as well is that they also ship in for the death race, for the death races or whatever it's called. They actually ship in women from the women's prison to act as the navigators for the drivers.
Okay.
So defense grid, 3 left, 4 right, kind of like a rally driver.
Yeah.
But in order to oomph the sort of sex appeal, they brought in attractive women from women's prison to do it.
Okay.
And it's just okay.
Fisted.
Yeah, I know. It's a high octane,
It's a good old fashioned dumb movie.
Yeah, but it's one of those films that you can only really sort of watch once.
Yeah.
Because you watch it, and because it's not necessarily stale, but kind of so typical almost. Yeah, predictable that you start watching it again for the second time, and this could be 10 years later. You go, oh yeah, then that happens, then this happens. Yeah, I remember now, kind of thing.
Oh well.
And I quite like it. It's one of those things that's kind of a one and done.
Yeah. So it's a sort of comfort movie. There's nothing going on that's inherently going to confuse you. There's nothing going on you need to pay all that much attention to. It's just something easy to watch.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
Wondering whether or not I risk. I don't. The issue I've got now.
Okay.
Is I'm trying to get that bit of a dirty brown, this yellow headlight here.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to go back over this with another colour before I do it white again, because that orange is so incredibly strong.
Yeah, that is orange as fook.
Yeah, that's one application.
Damn.
Yeah. I mean, let's put a little bit of Agrax on it and see what it looks like afterwards.
Yeah, I think Oblivion's story was also pretty shit, honestly. I didn't mind it up until the point where it was you now have to go through 7 million Oblivion gates and do the same thing over and over again. I was like, that seems like a lazy way to just extend the life of this game. It takes 70 hours to beat it, 60 hours of which are going through the same thing over and over again.
Well, the thing is that So the way enchanting worked in Oblivion, unless you were making a staff, like if you wanted some like really good enchantments, you had to go into the Oblivion Gates and get the weird like the little sigil thing.
Yeah, just don't make them mandatory, you know. But you have to do every single fucking one of them to complete the fucking story.
Yeah, well, you had to go through the one in Kvatch. That sort of kicks the whole thing off. That's how you become the hero of Kvatch. And then you got one outside of I think you go through. Yeah, you are right. It is about 7 or 8, isn't it?
Yeah.
You got to go to each. Got to go to every other city and close their gate in order to get to free them, basically.
It gets to the point where you stumble across one, you're like, oh my god, no, why? And you go in hoping, this has got to be slightly different. It's got to be different, and it's the same fucking thing.
Well, getting to the tower where the sigil thing is held has always been different. But when you're inside that very tower, that's when it gets a bit same.
It's functionally the fucking same, every single one of them. You have to get to the tower. Yes, it's a slightly different puzzle. It's the same mechanics over and over again.
When you say that, but I always get lost trying to get to the tower, like every time.
I'm
not a smart man.
Oh, and also, they took away my favourite fucking enchantment in Oblivion. What was that? Where's my levitation? I want to levitate whilst the guards are like swarming underneath me, going, "Stop right there, criminal scum! Stop right there, criminal scum! Stop right there, criminal scum!" While I'm archering them to death or fireballing them. Morrowind is also the place where I had my greatest shame that my friends will never let me forget. The greatest enchantment and the worst enchantment were made.
Right.
I had like a legendary soul gem. I was applying it to a helmet, and I thought to myself, "Ooh, I know, helmet of water breathing. Yeah, that'll be great." And it was like, "Oh, you've got enough room here for a second like permanent effect." Like, ooh, okay. Well, it's water breathing. I know what I'm going to add to this. Water walking. It's a water helmet. Yes. Water field.
Oh, so you didn't... I see where this is going.
Yeah. So... yeah. You've already got the punchline. And my friends were like... just like... laughing at me in the background. It's like, what's going on? Well, why are you laughing? It's a great item. It's like, we'll try and use it then. It's like, all right, let's go swimming. Got underwater. Pop the helmet on. Boom. Straight to the surface. Oh, hang on. Right, yeah, and I just... yeah, it was so annoying. It was so annoying. I think at first I tried to dive in and I just like jumped and it went and just ended up standing on the surface. Like, oh no. And then I tried to go under and put the helmet on to see if I could like cheese it, and yeah, no, just teleports you to the surface. Just, oh my god, legendary soldier. What
have I
wasted.
Done? Oh.
Yeah, that was not my proudest moment. Not gonna lie.
I did prefer the Mage Guild, the Thieves Guild, and Fighters Guild, and the Assassins Guild storylines in Oblivion. Especially the Thieves Guild ones. Like, my god.
Yeah.
Becoming the Grey Fox was just so cool.
Yeah.
Whereas in Skyrim, it's not. It's almost like we are the Guild of Thieves and the guild of occasional thieves and also mostly dungeoneers.
Yep.
Like, you spend more time in dungeons than you did in people's houses stealing things, unless you're doing the Radiant quests.
Oh, my bad.
And you already did the Radiant quests in order to restore the guild to its former glory.
Yeah. I don't know. I think the only guild that was worth playing through their missions was the Assassin's Guild, the Black, what's it called?
Dark Brotherhood.
Yeah, the Dark Brotherhood. That was a fun storyline. That was a fun quest line. Everyone else just sort of, I don't know.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the Vampire DLC.
I hate the Vampire DLC.
Okay.
But it's so. I've never done like the vampire side of it.
Right.
Mainly because I can't be asked.
Yeah.
And also, I think Serena deserves her redemption arc, which you can only do if you go non-vampire.
Weird. It.
Because Serena is best girl.
Oh.
Oh,
Bear wants to go out, I think. Fucking hell.
okay.
Sorry.
No, that's alright. He's a husky. Of course, he's gonna badger you.
What is this? Oh, he's got his little ears back. He feels sad. All right, I'll be right back.
No worries.
Sorry about this.
I shall continue what I was going to say when Bula gets back. In the meanwhile, I'm going to enjoy my slice of pizza. The spotlight on this side hasn't quite dried yet after a second coat of Agrex. Oh, excuse me. This is not what I wanted. I didn't want how to paint spotlights as if I'm painting a house. No, I want how to paint spotlights. Paint spotlights. Miniatures. Well, I also don't want to do object source lighting either, so... I'm just going to pause the music for a second. That's not pausing. That's pausing. Okay. I'm gonna have to go back over what I've already done. Oh, that's far too bloody detailed, Lord. And that is a link to an AK interactive book, so no. Basically. Oh, excuse me. Okay. I think I know what I'm gonna do. So we're gonna test that. So I think we'll test it on this here. So the video I saw asked for Casadora Yellow. Casadora Yellow doesn't exist, not anymore.
Ooh.
Hello. Welcome back.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
Right. Bear had just had the longest piss. The longest piss I've ever seen. Right, so where were we?
We're gonna do.
You were
I
talking
am
about the
still
vampire
experimenting.
quest.
Yeah, so the two really big issues I have with Skyrim have to do with Dawnguard and Dragonborn.
Okay.
Did you play any of the DLCs for Oblivion?
I can't remember. I remember definitely not buying the horse armor.
I did buy the horse armor because I'm a simp. But so the way that when it got to the point where you were high enough, because the thing is that Oblivion still had level gated quests.
Yeah.
There's a couple of Daedric Princess statues that I never actually got around to doing because I needed to be like level 26 something. But the problem is that because I stumbled onto them while I was just wandering around, I got too distracted by doing other things.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Carry on.
So when you were a high enough level to do the Shivering Isles or the Knights of the Nine DLCs, you just got a little entry in your quest log. That was it. Oh, you're now high enough level to start with the Dragonborn DLC? Cool. You turn up to Ivarstead to go up to climb the 10,000 steps or whatever it is to get to High Hrothgar.
Yeah.
You get a bunch of dudes in weird clothes come up to you and start yelling at you about how you're not the true Dragonborn and try to murder you.
Oh, good.
And then they keep randomly appearing. Particularly whenever you've just fast travelled somewhere. And I fucking hate it. And it was the same with the Dawnguard DLC. You turn up somewhere and there's a couple of random vampires who are about your level. So they can absolutely murder the guards and random townsfolk around you. Which is just stupid.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely...
Like, they keep interfering.
It definitely sounds like the sort of implementation Bethesda are used to having.
Well, the thing is, Bethesda made Oblivion. It was just, here's a little quest log, that's all you need to do, you can get around to it whenever you feel like. Like, that is the freedom I want with DLC. That's how I want DLCs to function. I will argue that Fallout 4 did this with every one of their DLCs except Far Harbor.
Okay.
Because Far Harbor, it gets to a point where, where it's like, oh, I've heard of another settlement that needs your help. Or if you're in the, if you've met Paladin Dance's recon team, Brotherhood of Steel recon team, literally, the first Radiant quest I got from Scribe Haley sent me into the Far Harbor DLC.
Okay.
So, yeah. Which is really irritating. So I'm like, great, now I have to go start the Fallout 4, I have to go start the Far Harbor DLC, get there, do all the other shenanigans. To get access to Far Harbor, and then I can just, so-and-so wants me to do a research patrol up on the Pridwin.
Yeah.
In the Brotherhood of Steel mothership.
Yeah.
Or airship. Great, well, at least I now have access to Far Harbor, so I can now go do that. But, again, that was irritating. I think I actually had a Thieves Guild quest once that sent me to Raven Rock before it even got to Raven Rock.
Yeah.
I hadn't unlocked the fast travel thing there, so it was just like, okay, well, I guess I'm not doing that quest for a while.
Yeah. I think the best Bethesda DLC. It's still Solstheim.
Yeah, that's Dawnguard.
No. On Morrowind, the Solstheim DLC.
Oh, do you go back?
Yeah.
So basically, Skyrim goes back to that place. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah, and it's like basically the Solstheim you go to in Morrowind is pre-eruption, because obviously the eruption happens at the end of the game in Morrowind. In fact, you cause the eruption technically. Yeah. And it's really cool going back to Solstheim, especially if you put in as many hours as I did into Morrowind, and like I know that little island like the back of my hand, and going back and finding things and people that you meet in the first game. There's a fort in Solstheim, which basically serves as the I think it's the Imperial's base of operations, essentially. And that's where you
that the one where you find that weird undead dude?
You know that weird
in
undead?
Skyrim?
You know that weird undead dude? He's the guy who gives you half the quests in the DLC.
Oh.
Which is why he's there and why he's such a big deal. And
Fair enough.
Yeah, and I kept coming across corpses of like with armor that I recognized. Like, oh shit! Oh man, yeah. No, Morrowind for me is peak RPG. It's so good. It's like it's difficult to go back to just because of how mechanically antiquated it is. In some respects, like the walking speed is painful now, but back then I was kind of used to it.
Yeah.
Also, you get the boots of blinding speed, which means you can't see anything unless you're a Breton, but you can travel about as quick as you do in Skyrim. So yeah.
One of these days, GW will release a white paint that isn't shit.
I don't think they will. If history is told us anything.
I know. Yeah, it's wishful thinking, ain't it?
Yeah. If they did if they did release one, they would charge you out the nose for it. It'd be like 4 times more expensive than the other white paints.
I do need to actually sort of knuckle down and actually commit and buy the, that Liquitex ink I keep going on about for washes. They actually got an acrylic paint version.
Oh, nice.
So it's actual paint rather than ink. Might have to crack down and actually buy myself that. But I was also looking at speed paint markers.
Okay.
Because I want to redo the names of my tanks. Because trying to paint letters names with a paintbrush and this shitty piece of shit is an absolute nightmare.
Yeah, one of the boys in the Discord, Badger, he had a black one of them that he used to write with on his flags and stuff. If you see any of his flag work and you see some nice writing, he's done that with a pen, basically.
Yeah, I know there's also like acrylic markers as well. I have to have a check.
I'm fairly sure you can use a Sharpie, to be honest. Those things will write on anything.
Yeah, I know. But I like the sort of painted on look almost.
I guess. Oh man.
Shit.
So anyway, let's move on from the Bethesda talk, I guess now.
Yeah, can do.
Yeah. What games have you been playing, or are you still on the long dark?
On stream I'm on the long dark, but I think we're kind of at that point where we can end it now.
Oh, okay.
Because I've set out to do what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Basically, it was an achievement run to begin with.
Yeah.
Which was get from X place to X place in a single game, and I did that.
Nice.
But I also sort of started developing, because one of the things he added in the latest updates was the ability to customize like your safe house effectively, or most interior locations. So that's what I did.
Nice.
I started with a place known as Trapper's Homestead.
Yeah.
And it's quite cozy, you know, it's like a one-room sort of building with fireplace and things like that.
Lovely. I do like a little cozy home builder.
Well, the thing is that like it doesn't start off with that. This is just something you can do if you want to. You can just completely ignore it if you want to.
You see, that's how like additional sort of building mechanics should be. You'd never be rammed down your throat like they are in Fallout 4. Let's continue anyway.
But yeah, so I'm sort of in a position where I need to sort of figure out what I'm going to do next.
Oh, fair. So you've got to either find a new challenge or maybe start a new game.
I mean, I could. Like, the other thing about doing this recent Long Dark shenanigans.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. Was also to sort of re-familiarise myself with how the game works for the next story chapter release.
Oh, yeah.
Because annoyingly, Hinterland decided that they were going to do that. They were going to focus on the Tales from the Far Territory DLC and release parts of that episodically, while leaving the main story in the game unfinished.
That's a pain in the ass.
It is a little bit. I can kind of understand why they did that though, because really, like up until like the last like 2 years, or at least since Tales from the Far Territory release. Like, a lot of the long-term players aren't playing the story over and over again, they're playing the survival mode.
Yeah. I mean,
I get the survival mode... Yeah, the survival mode just didn't have any real, like, meaningful updates for a long, long time.
Yeah.
Like, a long time.
I mean, yeah.
So that's sort of what they've been focusing on. They've been focusing on the reoccurring players rather than the new players, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And I suppose that the survival mode got released initially. It's just like something to do once you've finished the game.
Yeah.
Which turned into like the only reason why people are still playing the game.
Yeah.
I mean, once you've done the story once, that you've done basically, haven't you?
Yeah. Yeah. They also took an interesting sort of sidestep as well.
Yeah.
Which was they split the game into two. So you can buy just the story mode for like 18 quid.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah.
Or you can buy just the survival mode for about the same price.
Okay.
But the Tales of the Far Territory is separate DLC.
Yeah.
Or you can buy it's like the something or other edition. Give me a second. Just for my chat's sake. Bula's camera will go offline for just a second, at least on my end, because apparently Discord does not like, or OBS does not like have stuff in front of the camera, although it appears to be working this week apparently for some reason.
There you go.
Yeah. Just having a look.
Well, I've got multiple monitors. Happy days.
Yeah. Well, I have as well. But for some reason, up until today, apparently.
Okay.
If I put any full screen application on the same monitor as the Discord pop out,
yeah,
to get your camera on my stream, which I realise your logo's not there. That's clever. There we are.
Oh shit! I've still got your camera on. You just like prompted me. There you go. Hi everyone, I'm back. I'm still painting. Don't worry.
So you can buy the Long Dark Survival mode.
Yes. Which
is this edition of the game features the award-winning survival mode as a standalone product. That's 16 quid. A little bit cheaper than I thought it was. So that's effectively quote unquote the base game.
Yeah.
Then you can buy the Long Dark Wintermute as DLC for the same price. That's $15.99.
Yeah.
Or you can get. So yeah, it's basically you can still buy like the full game, which has both the story mode and the survival mode for 28 quid.
Yeah, I'm assuming that's what you got because you had bought the game previously.
I had bought the game previously, but I've also bought the game so long ago that this was before they split it up.
Yeah. So you just got the classic, the full version.
Yeah, but that is available, and it's cheaper than buying both of them individually.
Yeah, which you'd expect.
Which is good. Yeah. So really, I mean, the game, it says now that the edition that has both the story mode and the survival mode is 28 quid. Which ain't bad. There's a lot of content for 28 quid. As I said, just wish they finished the story before they did Tales of the Far Territory, but at the same time I also understand a small independent studio who doesn't believe in crunch needs a consistent source of revenue, hence why they released the DLC.
Yeah.
But yeah, so really you're spending, if you buy the big boy edition, the standard edition, which has both modes, and the Tales from the Far Territory DLC, you're paying 43 quid.
Yeah.
Non-sale price.
And I would say that a full game should cost no more than like, I'm gonna up my thing to 50 nowadays with inflation, but yeah, that's good for a fully fledged game with multiple modes.
Yeah.
Not
so
bad.
a part of my So a part of the reason why I was going through the Long Dark and doing these random little bits and pieces in survival mode was also to sort of refamiliarize myself with how the game worked again prior to the release of the last chapter. The last chapter of the story.
Yeah.
Because that's how I started playing this game to begin with. I was doing the story first.
Yeah.
Because it had been a story that I started again and again and again and again, but never actually finished.
Okay.
So that's how I got into streaming The Long Dark on occasion. But I keep saying I was going to do this, but I think I actually need to go and... Well, that's a lot of updates.
Balls. Painted someone I didn't want to paint. Never mind.
Well done.
You okay?
Yep, I'm just trying to catch up with my train of thought. Give me a second.
Oh, okay.
So that's why I started streaming to begin with, was to finish games that I'd started over and over again, like Stardew Valley, BattleTech, The Long Dark,
I think
and actually going through and finishing them.
I think we started streaming for very similar reasons then, because I just wanted to complete games. I basically got bored of games very quickly. Playing on my own, and I have found that streaming is a good way to force myself to finish stuff, especially the games that I get bored of or start getting very angry with. I would never have completed Dark Souls had I not been streaming it. I'm very glad that I did, because when you push through that and you realise how the game needs to be played to make it not fucking rock hard, it is extremely rewarding.
Okay.
I really enjoyed it. It's
I'm still not going to play them though.
I know.
Or if I do end up playing them, it will be absolutely off stream, because fuck the haters. I've got too much going on in my life to then have to deal with haters at the same time.
Do you know what? Through playing all of the Soulsborne games, I think I had less than 5 people come in who were like arseholes about it. most of the people who come to watch the Souls games being played are, you know, genuine fans of the series who want to help people do well, you know.
Yeah.
And they want to see you do well, and rather than get laughed at when you do absolutely terribly, they'll be like, "Oh, damn! I remember when that happened to me." Yeah. Oh my god! I need to stop bashing my microphone. Yeah, no. I found the Souls community to be very lovely.
Okay.
I think the whole Get Good crowd is like a very, very, very heavy minority, and they're not watching.
But they are just. Unfortunately, they also get the most attention because they also shout the loudest.
I don't think they do, to be honest. They just they put comments on videos, but they don't watch for the live streams.
Hmm.
And you know, it's very easy to ignore a comment. And to be fair, it's very easy to moderate them away if they start being annoying on your chat. That block button comes in very handy. Yeah, no, I don't know. I can vouch for the Soulsborne community. They are a nice bunch.
See, I'm still apprehensive because I was streaming Elite Dangerous and I was chatting with a couple of friends while playing it.
Yeah.
And I had the most racist motherfucker turn up in my channel.
Oh yeah, no, Elite Dangerous. That's a whole nother kettle of fish. Yeah, those guys need to touch some fucking grass. And those people do like to watch. To the point
where this dude made multiple accounts to get around bans.
Yeah, that only works.
Back when bans actually meant a fucking thing.
Yeah, well, that only works if you're using like a very good VPN. At the moment, I've got lots of potential ban evaders who come in because I have banned a lot of bots, like a lot of bots. And you'd be surprised at how good the ban evasion stuff works when you've got, you know, a good amount of bots banned. You know, it'll say, "Oh, this is coming from an IP from a, you know, an account that you've already banned."
But no, so one of the people I was talking to at the time.
Yeah.
So I was talking with a dude.
Okay.
Who used to pop along quite often, called Malnexus.
Yeah.
I won't say his real name because reasons.
Well, yeah, obviously we don't dox.
Yeah. Who at the time was my D&D DM.
Okay.
And we were just chatting while I was fuck-assing around in Elite Dangerous. But we weren't. It wasn't like a private call like we're on at the moment. It was like just in a chat room in our D&D server. And this other dude comes in and starts talking, and like we just sat there chatting away. Like, you can tell I'm British. You can tell that my friend's that my DM is American.
Yeah.
And he comes in, and as soon as this other guy who was Israeli started talking, this dude just switched on a fucking dime. So he was asking questions and stuff like that, and he was like, "Get that sand N-word out of here. The fuck are you doing? You know, get him out of there." And just literally just laid on the hate. I banned like 5 of his accounts.
Okay.
This was back in like 2018.
Why the fuck did he keep coming back?
I don't know, but I was just like, dude, like, he's my friend. I mean, not anymore, but at the time he was. But like, yeah, he's my friend. Like, you know.
Yeah.
Why? What have you got against him? Like, you've never met this person in your life. And he just kept going and going and going to the point where I had to give Malnexus mod authority.
Yeah.
In order to deal with him, because I was having to tab out of the game so much in order to deal with him.
Bloody hell.
It was absurd.
Yeah.
Like, no idea why. No idea why he switched.
Some people
dying like that.
Yeah, some people just have intolerances that cannot be mitigated, and you just at that point you just need to tell them to shut the fuck up or go the fuck away.
Yeah.
And then it's the one when they're told to shut the fuck up. These days they're like, "Oh, I'm being censored." Like, no.
Oh, you cancelling me? No.
No,
Free speech does not mean freedom of consequences. Yes, you have every right to call him whatever name you want, but you're not free from the consequences of me banning you from the chat. That's the difference.
Yeah. So
That's what a lot of people. Oh, I royally fucked this up. That's what a lot of people who claim, "Oh, I'm being cancelled because I said something atrocious." It's like, yeah, maybe because you're being a cunt.
yeah.
Maybe just that. It could just be that.
The one rule of chat: don't be a cunt.
Yeah.
There you go.
It was because of that guy I had you. So you know when you join a streamer's chat for the first time, and then you go to click on the box to chat,
Yeah.
and it's like, "Oh, here are the rules," kind of thing.
Yeah.
That guy is why I have rules, which is basically summarized to, "Don't be a dick."
Yeah.
It's literally, no sexism, don't be a dick. No racism, don't be a dick. Like this is an accepting stream. I have no problem with people coming into my stream and watching for a little bit, provided they're not a dick.
Yeah, exactly. I don't mind disagreeing with people. I don't mind having a friendly disagreement. A spirited debate is perfectly fine. But as soon as you start throwing slurs around and start getting angry at people for having their opinions, that's when...
I had one dude called me a limey fuck, and I went, I get that I'm pale, and that's not the point, but get the fuck out of here.
Limey is just what they call us.
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck you doing on an American website, you limey fuck? And I went, it's actually an international website, so how about you shut the fuck up?
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know the domain finished with .us.
I was like, does it start? Yeah, like literally, like it's .tv, not .gov.us or whatever the fuck.
And technically, it's a Tel Avivian website because .tv is. I think that's the main export that country has. Whatever country it is that has the domain .tv.
Ooh, hello. Sorry, this is for something completely unrelated.
Go on.
Ooh, Hell Let Loose had an update.
A what update?
Hell Let Loose.
Oh, okay. I have that game.
Team-based.
Yeah, I have that game, but I've never played it.
Oh, this is so sexy.
Okay.
They released the British like 2 years ago.
Okay.
Realised that they completely fucked it and spent the better part of like 6 months to a year rebuilding the British, basically.
Okay.
Because they completely so the British got some Lend-Lease weapons from the Americans, but there were also like submachine guns that would never get because it's entirely army based.
Yeah.
There's no player controlled aircraft, no player controlled boats or anything like that. It's all based on land. So you either play infantry, you play armor or like your tank squads, or you play recon, which is your spotter and snipers. And
Bastards,
I remember playing the British. Yeah, they absolutely are, especially when you're playing artillery. And we were there. What was I going to say? Yeah. And the British were very fucking weird. Like, a lot of the officer class had access to something called the Lancaster.
Yeah.
Now, this is not the Lancaster bomber. As I said, there's no player-controlled planes. Or if there is, it's extremely limited.
Yeah.
Like, I want a recon plane to go from here to here. And that's only available to one guy on the team called the commander. That's it.
Yeah.
and they, as I said, so a lot of the British officers had access to something called the Lancaster, which is the submachine gun. Only 1,200 were ever. I think it was 12. It was either 1,200 or 12,000. I don't remember which. Were ever made, and they would never get given to the army. They were navy only.
Okay. So little inaccuracy, forgivable.
Yeah, there was a lot of that. Like all of the tanks for the British were Shermans. And it's just like, we had our own tanks as well, right? I mean, you can still get Shermans when you play the British, because I think you can get the Firefly and I think a generic Sherman. Like the M4A1 and maybe 2 at best.
Yeah.
Sort of thing for your mediums. But your light tanks, I think, are Stuarts and Daimlers. Daimler armoured car. Which is an amazing little bastard. I love it. It's so funny. But yeah. So, can you do me a favour? Can you have a look at these two headlights on this side and tell me which one you like better?
The top or the bottom?
Sort of digging this one. Well, out of those two.
Out
of these two.
Yeah, I think the bottom. Yeah.
Bottom one?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like the.
I'm gonna have to go over this orange one.
Yeah. It might look.
It might look grey, and then.
Are you making it grey before you do it?
Well, the thing is that the headlights have started off like this, white, from that titanium ink.
You don't.
So
want
that
them to be
one I
different.
did. No, it doesn't make sense. When was the last time you saw a car with headlights that were like green, blue, and red? They're not. They're all white.
Mate, I come from
and
I come
LEDs.
from Liverpool. I see that all the time.
Those are underlights. That's different, not headlights.
No, you would be surprised how many cars still get rebuilt in scrapyards up here.
Oh, chop shops.
Yeah. Well, not chop shops necessarily. Just there are scrappies around that will just like sell you headlights from like written off cars.
Good, because honestly, fuck the goddamn LED headlights. Fuck them.
Yeah. I don't drive, so it's not a massive problem for me, but yeah.
I have been driven by excuse me. I've been driven by them, and honestly, I don't ever want to do that again, because my mum took me up to LARP back in October.
Yeah.
And by the time she picked me up and took me home, it was quite dark. And so my mum dropped me off at my place and helped me get my stuff up, and I honestly turned to her and went, how in the fuck do you see at night? Because every time another car went past us, I was absolutely fucking blinded. Every single time.
Oh,
and she went, I know, it's awful. Like, more and more people are having to buy, like, yellow tinted glasses because of the LED headlights. They are fucking dangerous, they really are.
There's this one road coming out of Southport along the coast, and every car has full beams on. It's like people seem to feel like, because it's sort of a B road, that like they can have their full beams on regardless of if there's any oncoming traffic. And oh my god, I can't come out of that with a migraine when I'm in the passenger seat. Ridiculous.
But yeah, sorry, the Hell Let Loose update is adding to Brook.
Okay.
Which is quite entertaining.
Nice.
As long as some quality of life improvements as well.
Nice.
So, fun times.
Yeah, the nearest thing to that I ever played was Red Orchestra.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that game, but yeah, none of my friends stuck with it, so stopped playing. Because
that's fair.
That's the sort of game I cannot play solo. And because I don't do voice chat, I can't play with randomers. So, yeah.
I mean, you can. You just won't be very good.
Well, yeah. Just it's very team-based games. I don't mind voice chat on some. Yeah, I don't mind voice chat on some games, but like most of the time, I avoid it like the plague. I used to do voice chat occasionally on Rainbow Six Siege because you can't play that game without talking to your entire team. But like, I hate it when people have like music going through their headphones. Like they've got music on in the background really loud, to the point where you can fucking hear a tinny version of it. Oh man, the people who do that need to be fucking castrated. That and people who like walk around in public with their phones on speaker.
Oh, we had that on Saturday.
Oh, fuck them. Fuck them so hard. I do not care about your conversation with the girlfriend you're making up. Just, oh my god. They sat on the bus with their phone on speaker. These two girls rabbiting on between each other. Just, I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Get the fucking phone off speaker and put it next to your fucking ear. You absolute monster. It was boring shit. I don't want to hear it.
What was I going to say?
Go on.
Yeah, so no, apparently not. Completely forgotten. Carry on.
I don't know. It must have been something about the headlight situation.
No, it was about the whole speaker situation.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like so we were so me and my family did our Mother's Day thing on the Saturday.
Oh yeah.
Rather than the Sunday. Just because it worked out that way, really, more than anything, and plus Mum was actually busy on Mother's Day itself.
Aye.
So I was like, alright, okay, we'll do something on the Saturday instead. So we did. And we went to a Chinese restaurant, with the same Chinese restaurant we went to on my birthday. Mainly because,
there was no one in that restaurant with their phones on speaker, was there?
Yes, there was.
Oh my god, that person needs to have been chucked out and then beaten to death.
It was a granny.
I do not care. Beat them to death. Justified murder, in my opinion. She's lived long enough and she's inviting death.
Death by lack of phone etiquette.
Yeah. Death by rudeness. Stab her to death with chopsticks.
But so she wasn't. This grandmother wasn't there to set for her birthday. It was for presumably her daughter's birthday.
Okay.
Which is quite impressive because I had no idea their daughter was fucking 60. She didn't look 60.
Okay.
So fucking hats off to her in that regard.
Yeah.
Like if I had to, genuinely, if I had to guess an age, I would have said like anywhere between mid-30s and 40 at a push.
Okay.
I was just like, damn, 60? God damn.
Looked after herself there.
Well done.
When I get to 60, I'm gonna look like a corpse.
Oh, I'm already there, mate. Trust.
Well, I say when. I need to say if, probably.
Well, to be fair, you're a productive member of society. You work a job. I don't. I'm first on the chopping block.
Work is a strong word.
Do you sacrifice your time and energy for money?
Yeah, technically.
Then you work.
Yeah.
I don't. I don't. Because I'm chronically unwell.
You get money from streaming, technically.
I am lucky to see a £50 or a $50 payout once a year. Arguably, it could be more if I was to do sponsorships.
I mean,
Because Stream Elements have, speaking of sponsorships, Stream Elements have actually announced that most sponsorships now will have a base pay rate.
Yeah, I feel like sponsorships are very counterproductive when you're at the same when you're like size that we are.
Level. Yeah.
It's
yeah,
like,
whenever I've announced I'm doing a sponsorship segment, I'm like, look, you know, I kind of need the money, truth be told.
Yeah.
I'm not doing this because I like the product, I'm doing it because I need money, and like I'm very upfront about it, and then I get like nobody in the stream for like the 2 weeks the sponsorship's running for.
Pretty much. You know, people will
just like,
people will see the sponsorship and go, nah, it's not for me. And I understand that because I do the same thing. When someone upload, you know, when a streamer or a content creator that I watch on the regular uploads a video and it says it's got a paid promotion, I'm like, no thanks.
I just skip through it.
Yeah. Well, there's a few videos that are like, that's all they are. You know what I mean? The whole video is for the purpose of reviewing a product, sort of thing. I'm like, nah. Right.
You know what I haven't seen in a while, actually?
Go on.
I haven't seen any Audible sponsorships in a while.
Well, Audible have cornered the market and they don't need to do any more marketing, or they're done for. One of those two.
Yeah.
Now, to be fair, I think that Amazon's starting to struggle with. There are some things that basically the economy's going to shit and people aren't buying shit anymore, so they're probably trying to claw back some money by not doing as much marketing. Marketing's always the first thing to go when business declines.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I think a combination of the economy and the boycott America movement that's spreading across Europe and Canada and Mexico and a fair amount of the world, Australia, that sort of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is.
Imagine being so shit. Imagine being so shit at international relations and trade that you force 3 countries, Japan, South Korea, and China, to work together because fuck dealing with you.
Yes. Oh, arch enemies seeing eye to eye for the first time in like 200 years.
80 years. Yeah, if not longer.
In many ways, he's a
congrats.
peacemaker.
Yeah, congrats. The whole world is united against you.
Yeah. The UK is considering rejoining the EU. Fucking hell. Ridiculous.
Where have you seen that?
The, what's his name movement. And also, have you seen the new, what's it called? There's a new train system that they've proposed last month.
Who? Our government or American government?
No, it's the European Union basically.
Oh.
And we're included.
Ooh.
It's like it's basically they drew it like a fucking metro map, and Liverpool's included as well. Basically, a super high speed rail line that links basically every major city in Europe.
What, like HS2 was supposed to do?
Pretty much, yeah. But like for the whole of Europe. Right, this is clearly not working. This gold paint is needing a stir.
Oof.
We're gonna have to get.
Do I want to do the yellow? Do I want to do the white again? That's the main question. Can I just get a little bit? Can I just get a little bit of this? I don't need much. I just need a little bit, just enough to paint with, not enough to draw.
Oh, it's all lumpy and stuff in here. Oh, I'm gonna need to give this a full fucking blend. Oof. Just touch it. I will. Rob Dog, welcome in. How are you doing, sir? I hope you're doing well. Hope you're keeping well over there in the hellscape that America has become. Oh, holy shit! Yeah, that gold needed a good stir there. I don't even know if that's going to save it because there's a lot of lumpy bits. I'm gonna have to give it the shakiest shake that I've ever given. I'm gonna have to channel my inner polio. Enjoying your day off? Nice.
Yeah, those in America?
You do if you're salaried.
And then it's a rarity.
Yeah. Right, there you go. I've just given it a good old shaky shake. Hopefully that's enough. Oh, that looks much better, yes. Oh, yes. I'm not going to thin this paint. I think it goes on just fine without it. What have you done with your day off, Rob Dog? Well, what are you doing? I forget what the time difference is over where you are.
It's either coming up to 4 o'clock in the afternoon. No, yeah, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Or no. Yeah, 4. It's noon. Yeah.
You want that Land Raider? It's noon. You want that Land Raider? Oh man, I don't have any Land Raiders. That's not a Land Raider there. It looks sort of similar. That is a Rogal Dorn.
Yes.
A Tonk. Okay, that's all of the gold. No ha. Yeah, I'm gonna get a Baneblade before I get a Land Raider, I tell you. I cannot physically wait until I get myself good old Baneblade. The Guard of Space Marine, that's a guard tank right there. Imperial Gold.
It's a chunky boy. This is the Rogal Dorn battle tank.
Yeah, he's got a 3D printed version that his friend gave him. This is the official version. They'll look identical basically, but that's the box for the full version right there. I picked that up at Warhammer World. It was good. It was 63 quid as well, which I believe is cheap for one of them now.
No, that is the market price.
Oh, is it? Oh, no, it's just been April. I reckon they've put the prices up again. I reckon they put the prices up again. Love you some
still
guard.
not paying for that. I'm still not paying for that current guard combat patrol because get fucked on that regard.
Indeed. Right, so that is most of the colours done on this guy. I just need the black and the lead belcher. Do the lead belcher first.
No, prices are still the same.
Oh, okay.
Combat patrol is still 100 quid. Hell's Last is still £47.50 for reasons.
Aye. If I wanted to combat patrol, I'll go on Goblin Gaming and get it for 80. Used to be 70. Oh, Wayland Games actually is good as well.
My next army, after I've sort of fleshed out my Space Marines a little bit,
yeah,
is going to be Necrons.
Okay, cool.
But I'm going to do the full fucking...
You going full Egyptian?
Full Tomb King, yeah.
Nice.
Full Tomb King. So lots of... So where like the like, at least for the standard Necrons, having like the metal bodies,
yeah.
But then on the shoulder pads, put on some texture paint.
Yeah.
Undercoat in probably Mournfang or a similar color if I can get it, because that would just make it easier. And then I'm gonna have all of the you know, all the green like Gauss flares and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I want to see if I can get blue rods or red ones rather than green, and just have a mix of them.
Nice.
But like but yeah, but do them fully, like, main body is bone, and then the shoulder pads will be like either sandstone, but for like the nobles, like the Lich Guard and what they called overlords and things like that.
Yeah.
Do blue marble for the shoulder pads with gems of red, gold, green, things like that.
Nice.
I think that would look really good. Basically going full Tomb King, but sort of dialing down the gold and more focusing on colour variation
Okay.
for details and stuff like that.
That sounds excellent.
So I think that, yeah, but you know, that's good in theory. I've still got to get there yet.
Yeah, true. I'm probably going to go squats with my next army.
Ah, okay.
Um,
I think you could draw a lot of inspiration from like the colours in Cyberpunk 2077.
yeah. I think I could.
Oh, that would be really funny. Do an entire squat army based on Max Tac.
Max
You know, the
Tac.
dudes who come in. Have you not played Cyberpunk 2077?
I didn't get on with it. I found the story terribly boring. Well, okay, I found the Johnny Silverhand bit of it terribly boring. Yeah, no. Anyway, I did play a bit of it, but I was playing on a PS4, so yeah, it wasn't ideal.
Yeah, honestly, like it's good. They've done a lot of work to get it to not be shit.
I do trust to an extent CD Projekt Red, but that game release didn't fucking shake my trust in them a bit. But I did trust them to come back and do the work. I was just a bit fucking miffed off that I bought the PS4 version because that's what I had at the time, and it will never work. So yeah.
Why won't it ever work on the PS4?
Because the PS4 can't handle it.
They
should never have released it on the PS4. That's the reason it was such a fucking mess at the time when they released it, because they had to try and make it work, but it was never gonna, because of a decision they made very early on in the development, which was non-fucking sensical. They went with full ray tracing for the entire world, which they did not need to do. Like the fully what's it called? Dynamic lighting. There you go. You don't need that shit. Most games don't use full dynamic lighting because it fucking ruins the game's functionality. It makes it run like shit. If it was an option, that'd be fine, but no, they built it from the ground up so that it had to have it. Tau? Didn't realise you were that way inclined, sir. How's it going, Clough? Welcome in. How are you doing, sir? How are you this fine Wednesday evening? Yeah, I did buy Cyberpunk and its DLC on PC in the sales recently, so it is on my list to do. Well, Kingdom...
Oh, you talk about Phantom Liberty?
Yeah, Kingdom Come Deliverance was too much of a draw for me, though. I couldn't say no to it. It's a game that I've been eyeing up for ages, and when the sequel comes out and everyone's saying it's fucking hot shit, I'm like, right, I've got to pull the trigger. I've got to go for it. I've got to go for the first one and see how I find it.
I do need to sit down and do the first game.
It's so good. It really is. A 10 out of 10 game, says Clough. High praise. High praise. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think I'm either going to have squats or, and here's the kicker, I might go with Skaven.
Ooh, old world or...
Well, that's the thing. That's the only reason I'm not doing it yet, because I don't know what version of the game's going to still be in existence in 10 years, you know?
To be fair, with what I know about the old world timeline, because they're not setting it at the same time that old world was at before they killed it for Age of Sigmar.
Okay.
You might sort of be on the money to do Skaven, to be honest. Because I believe this is just after I believe it's just after Manfred Skaven Slayer has just been killed, and we're now in the time of the Three Emperors, I think. Where basically, like, there's like a couple of factions within the Empire who are like, no, I'm the Emperor, no, I'm the Emperor, no, I'm the Emperor, because Manfred died without any heirs.
Yeah.
So you might be sort of on the money for, like, doing like a remnants of that whole debacle for Skaven.
Yeah. I do enjoy I do enjoy the Skaven.
You'll have to do so much fur painting though.
I am actually fine with that. I don't know if it's still on the paint club, but the one of the D&D figures I did, I think it's on my Instagram as well. One of my D&D figures I did had a fur cloak, and I enjoyed doing that immensely. That is one of the few dry brushing attempts I've had that has really yielded significant joy, you know what I mean? 'Cause it looks fucking sick. That was my half orc. Darncloth is 60 hours into Kingdom Come 2 and he's still playing the main questline. Nice. Well, I'm on the DLC in the first one. I decided to give it a go, one of the DLC quests, and it's like an alternate timeline situation.
Oh.
Nice. Oh shit. Yeah, I don't know if this is ever going to close again. This white paint will not close. Oh shit. I think it's done for. I have got a fresh one there, but I wanted to use up as much as I could before it finally died. Okay. Trying to get this white, the white sections like as flat as possible, colour-wise. So they look as nice as possible. It's very difficult to make them not look dirty. As Cornish said earlier, Citadel don't make good white paint. Their white paint is kind of shit.
They do not. Well, the company that GW contracts to make the paint doesn't make good white paint.
Oh, fair.
Which is Citadel.
Yeah. Citadel.
But yeah, it's just awful fucking paint. Always has been. Okay.
Okay. I think that's close enough to flat. I'm okay with that now. And the last bit is black, and then I think... Oh no, hang on. Got a little bit of red to do as well. I need to just basically go around the models once I've got the final colour on, which is black. And just make sure they're all consistent.
Yeah.
Make sure there's not like a variation. Okay, there we go. So I know there's that bit there that needs doing. Nice. Not a lot of black needs doing. A little bit of tidying up to do there. Here we go. Well, looks like I did this one pretty cleanly, to be fair. Not an awful lot of tidying to do. I need to do the claws as well. I think I'm going to do the claws in one of my lighter blue colours.
Yeah.
And then maybe dry brush with the white on top of it. It looks like a fingernail on a blue foot.
That could work.
Yeah.
I need a blue, not that blue.
Okay. I think that's good. Oh, the hand. I'm sure I missed one of the hands. Yes, I did. There it is. Haha! I love when I'm right. Ho ho. There we go. Bum 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 bum. That'll do. I think that's enough. Black there. Sweet. Ooh, right. There was a tiny bit of lead belcher that needed doing that I spotted. I'm literally going to go around the models now, bit by bit, finding, fixing any mistakes or omissions. Okay. I need to consider doing bases on my models at this point. I just haven't got the I've never done any bases. Never bothered.
There are ways to do it like stupidly cheap. A good one is to take some dirt, bake it at like 50, and like spread it really thin on a baking tray, bake it at like 50, I think.
Yeah.
In the oven.
Because
it dries it out and sort of kills a bunch of bacteria at the same time.
Yeah.
And you pop it in a pot and it's ready to go.
Yeah, this
it's also one of those things. Go on.
This paint I use for my guard, and I have not used it since I last painted some guard, which is a while ago. It is still good inside. I can hear it sloshing about, but it is used shot.
Oh, is it texture paint?
No, it's Celestra Grey. It's a base paint, but there's this section here that is all fused. I just need to give it a good. It's cracked, open, nice, okay. There's a little chunk here that I can just rip off, hopefully. Yeah, there you go. Nice. I'm surprised the paint's still in that good nick, to be honest. It's been well over a year since I painted any guardsmen. Damn. That's the main...
Well, before we started doing this, you said it'd been about 8 months since you last painted.
Yeah, and the last things I painted was Tau. What was the last guardsman I painted? I think it would have been a commissar or the command squad, and that was years ago. Oh my god. Anyway, Celestra Grey is the main colour of my cloth element in my guard army.
Ah. What colour do you do the armour and the lasguns on?
Mechanicum Standard Grey.
So you go with two different types of grey?
Yes, technically, but the Celestra is more of a creamy white.
Okay.
And I use blue and purple as tiger stripes, as like a sort of, snow camouflage. It does look quite good.
I was debating the possibility of doing all of my guardsmen, because their fatigues are grey.
Yeah.
I was debating doing that and then trying to do a digital print, like the old light grey, dark grey, black digital.
Yeah.
On the fatigues.
Difficult.
And I picked up what I thought. Yeah. Well, I debated doing that, and then I realised that the Dawnstone and Mechanica Standard Grey are very, very similar.
Hmm.
So I was like, oh, okay. And there wasn't really a darker grey available. Not unless I mixed it with...
Okay.
Not unless I mixed either Dawnstone or Mechanica Standard.
Yeah.
With a Baden in order to get... But then that creates inconsistencies, because I would probably never get the paint mix right every single time.
The one grey that's quite good is Eshin Grey. That's quite a good one that goes quite well with Mechanicum Standard. It's a lighter grey, but it's a nice two-tone with the Mechanicum.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about doing like leopard spots and stuff, but I was thinking tiger stripes are easier just because you don't have to have it in straight lines. You don't have to be precise about the shape of the lines or anything. It's just, and I was doing hundreds of models. I didn't want to have to do very precise shit.
Yeah.
Oh man, right. Let's dry brush this. We're gonna need the tiny dry brush. I
do need to go back. So I've got like about 15 random guardsmen that don't fit into any particular squad.
Yeah.
And because they decided to legends the old platoon and standard infantry squads.
Yeah.
I need to go back to that other squad, so also those random gubbins of guardsmen, and sort of break them apart gently in order to apply special weapons to them. Because I run my guardsmen mostly as Cadians anyway.
Yeah.
But on the odd occasion, I might go, for the purposes of this battle, they're Krieg because reasons. But yeah, so that might be something that I need to consider.
Yeah.
Well, I need to sit down and do it, but it's just arduous, sort of trying to find everything. Plus, I've got so many projects to do. I've got the rest of the Krieg box to put together, because I put together the engineers. Oh, I had a fucking fight with that engineer squad, I'll tell you that. So I've got a Tempestus Scion platoon that I called the Battered Bastards of Baston 4.
Okay.
And they are called the Bastards because they were a bastard to put together and a bastard to paint.
And you killed the mother.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but that's why they're named that. That's why they're named the Bastards of Baston 4.
Yeah.
Because they were a bastard to put together and a bastard to paint. They really were, especially with all the bloody filigree on them.
Oh. I just got a load of white on my brush and I can't remember why. Don't know.
To paint with, hopefully.
Yeah, probably.
And there is the instructions to make one specific engineer dude in this squad of Krieg engineers.
Yeah.
There's only So it's it's like a front-mounted like remote control for the little mine that they have, the little remote control mine.
Yeah.
The instructions on how to put together that specific variant are spread over 3 pages.
Oh my god.
3 different pages.
Why
I didn't realise this because it's GW being a cunt.
Stop being a cunt, GW.
So yeah, the friend of mine was initially hearing me getting really, really annoyed over this kit because it's like why have they spread the instructions over so many goddamn pages? Like every other variant is sort of neat and tidy, but this one specific variant of this model is here and over there. Because the torso, so what they've done with these Kree, with the engineers that is that you got, because obviously they wear a greatcoat, but they also wear like metal, like a chest piece on the front of their greatcoat.
Yeah.
So you can't just slap on any front plate onto the model that can only be the engineer with the remote control.
Yeah.
It has to be this one specific variant. Because it's thinner at the front, because the 2 straps that come down and give you the little remote control have bits of the armor on them, of that front plate. So you need a very narrow front plate, which is only available to go on one specific model of the 5-man squad to assemble it.
Yeah.
And I didn't realise this until I had glued on, because the one side of the remote control not only has armour, it also has like a significant piece of the greatcoat as well.
Yeah.
And I put it together and I realised I tried to get the thing off, so I was like, it's fine, I'll cut it down, it's fine, I can just file it, it'll be grand. And then I went to put it on and I realised I'd have to file the front plate as well, and I went, I'm fucking done. I guess I'm not having a dude holding a remote control, I'm fucking done. It's such a stupid set of instructions.
Oh. At least I'm forewarned for when I eventually get that box. Oh my god.
So, that is one very specific box set.
Yeah.
Which is the Krieg Engineers. They are sort of re-releasing the standard Krieg box.
Yeah.
Like the Krieg Infantry, so it's 10 dudes.
Yeah.
But there's 2 versions. There's one for Kill Team and there's one for Warhammer. The one for Warhammer is a lot cheaper because you don't get like in the Kill Team one. There's like a little upgrade sprue, which allows you to make certain models, certain roles within Kill Team.
Okay.
Whereas you don't really need to do that in 40k, really.
Hmm.
But yeah, but they're quite fun. Running a 20-man squad of the Krieg Infantry is really funny because you get, I think it's 2 grenade launchers. You can have 2 grenade launchers, 2 flamers, I think. Hang on, let me just grab something to make sure I'm not talking out my ass. New recruit. That's not how you spell new recruit.
I think I'm as close to being complete as I'm ever going to be with these 3 models.
Nice.
It took me a little longer than I was expecting, to be honest. I thought I'd be getting on with another model within the first hour of the stream, but obviously that has not happened. Let's just have a little look around the models, make sure that all 3 of them are consistent, they've got the same colouring, and I've already spotted one thing that's wrong. It's on all 3. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. A little bit of red there. Okay, so it's just red that we need to bring back out, by the looks of it. Where is it? Born red, there you go. Blood for the blood god. Speaking of corn, I've got my corn t-shirt on today.
Nice.
Yes. Feeling in a new metally mood.
Yeah, so the Death Core, if you run a 20-man blob, you can have 2 of those guys with med packs, which is incredible. So it really adds to their durability. 11 dudes, well, 2 dudes with las pistol and chainsword, because watch matters.
Indeed.
Well, you can give the power weapons and plasma pistols, so that's an option. Yeah, so you've got 2 dudes with power weapons and plasma pistols. 11 dudes with their las guns and close combat weapons. 2 dudes with a medipack and las guns. 1 dude with a vox caster and a las gun. But here's the kicker.
Okay.
For every dude you have with a vox caster, which could be between 0 and 2, you lose a special weapon.
Right.
So you can have up to 4 special weapons, I think.
But you wouldn't be able to have any Vox.
Yeah. Basically. But having those med packs is insanely important for the Krieg.
Yeah.
Because they go, cool, I get to replenish D3 models every the start of my command phase.
Nice.
That's if you have 1 dude with a med pack.
D6, yeah.
If you have 2, it's D3 plus 3.
Oh, plus 3. Oh, right, nice.
Yeah, so with 1 medipack, you're doing anywhere between 1 and 3 models a turn. With 2 medpacks, you're doing anywhere between 4 and 6.
Damn.
Which is nutty. I think it's 1 and 6.
That is pretty good.
I am going to check. Because with the Guard Codex release, they completely changed how medpacks work. It used to be Command Squad medpacks would give you Fiona Pains, but they don't anymore. Oh, what am I doing?
I get a feeling that their theme song will be "I get knocked down, but I get up again. You ain't never gonna keep me down. Kissing the night away. Kissing the night away."
Oh no, sorry. My bad. There was a D3 plus 3, it's D3 plus 1.
Oh. Yeah, so that's less
Which
broken.
still, that is less broken.
Still worth having.
But, so, with the removal of platoon command squads now,
Yeah.
the Krieg have got their own command squad.
Nice.
And while they don't have a medipack anymore, they have an alchemist. Or is it alchemist? Or guardsman with alchemic counter agents is the official name.
I mean, my dude's got a first aid kit, but you know.
But he gets Field of Pain 6+ against mortal wounds. Which isn't as good as it used to be. But still funny.
Okay, I think I'm done with these. Just needing to tidy this bit up here. Every single one of my models at the back here in this little corner has got an issue.
Nice.
And there. Okay. Yep, good. Done. I'm finished. How's your headlights coming?
I think the headlights are done. I'm not happy with how the top ones up here have turned out, but
Okay.
I don't think there's not really a lot I can do with them, to be honest. Probably would have been better off not trying to add like the reflection and the glass.
I think, alright, the top ones specifically, I know it'll ruin the red around it. Dry brushing a bit of white over that. Like, really dry brushing. As in, like, the driest a brush can be without being completely and utterly useless.
Yeah, maybe.
And just to fade out the stain a little bit.
Yeah.
It's easy enough to paint the red back over.
The other question as well is like, do I want to do Talisar on these white bits here and here, or do I want to just do straight blue?
Do one of each and figure out which one's better, and then do the other one.
Not a bad shout.
Oh,
Into the box of paints. Where is my Talisar?
Okay. Just flash me belly at the ladies and gentlemen.
Gotta pay extra for that. Cut that, ladies and gents.
Join my OnlyFans, everyone. No one would pay for that. Anyway, that is a squad of dudes. Let me bring them to the camera so you can see them. I'll put my full camera on so you can see them. A full squad.
Hey, there we go.
It's a full squad completed and table ready. Some stealth suits. Look at that. Nice. 3 days.
Well done.
Yeah. There we go.
Now on to far side.
Indeed. Right. I'm going to go and refill my mug whilst before we crack on with Commander Farsight. So I'll leave you in the capable hands of Mr. Cornish. There we go. So I'll be back very shortly.
Thought he dropped his mug. That's what it sounded like to me.